Good morning. Today I want to talk about something that we often overlook in the pursuit of our dreams, something that is the foundation of success, joy, and personal fulfillment: discipline. Yes, discipline is everything. Discipline is not about restriction. It's not about depriving yourself of pleasure or freedom. It's the opposite. Discipline is the pathway to freedom. When you develop the ability to stay focused on what truly matters, you unlock the door to your greatest potential. Think about that for a moment. Every time you choose to stay committed to your goals, even when the road is tough, you're creating a space for growth, for progress, for success. Now, let's be real, discipline doesn't come easy. If it did, everyone would be living their best life. It takes practice, persistence, and consistency. And let me tell you, it's not about perfection. It never has been. The people we admire, the ones who have built legacies, who have changed lives, they didn't do it by being perfect. They did it by being consistent. They showed up for themselves day after day, even when they didn't feel like it. That's what discipline is. It's not just the big moments, it's the small, everyday choices we make that create lasting change. And there's another truth about discipline: it's an act of self-respect. When you are disciplined, you are telling yourself, I am worthy of the life I envision. Think about that. Every time you follow through on a commitment you made to yourself, you're building trust with yourself. You're sending a message to the world that you honor your dreams, your potential, your worth. That kind of self-respect, that kind of belief in yourself, that's powerful. But here's where it really counts. Discipline shines brightest when life gets tough. Because the truth is, life will test you. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, when everything feels like it's going against you. But it's in those moments that your discipline will carry you through. It's the habits you've built, the resilience you've cultivated, that will keep you grounded when the winds of life blow strong. So if there's one thing I want you to take away today, it's this: discipline is everything. It's not a punishment, it's a gift you give to yourself. It's the key that unlocks the door to your best self, to your brightest future. And it's always within your reach, one choice, one step at a time. Discipline, at its core, is often misunderstood. We think of it as something that limits us, something that confines our desires and restricts our freedom. But in truth, discipline is the very thing that leads to freedom. It is the vehicle that carries us from where we are to where we want to be, not by chaining us down, but by helping us rise above distractions, temptations, and fleeting impulses. Think about the moments in your life where you felt most proud, most fulfilled. Were those moments born out of easy choices, or did they come from staying committed when it would have been easier to quit? Discipline is what turns dreams into reality, because it gives us the structure and the focus to keep going, even when life gets tough. It's what keeps us on course when the excitement fades, when motivation wanes, and when challenges arise. When we have discipline, we are no longer ruled by short-term pleasures or momentary impulses. We become the masters of our own lives. Discipline teaches us to delay gratification, to wait for the greater reward that lies on the other side of hard work and perseverance. That kind of control over our own behavior isn't just about sticking to a routine. It's about shaping our lives with intention. It's about making decisions from a place of purpose, not impulse. Now, the beauty of discipline is that it frees us from the chaos of inconsistency. Without it, we are constantly chasing quick fixes, jumping from one thing to the next, never fully committing to anything. But when we cultivate discipline, we learn to stay the course. We begin to realize that true freedom isn't found in doing whatever we feel like in the moment. It's found in aligning our actions with our deepest values and highest aspirations. This is where true freedom lies. When you are disciplined, you no longer rely on fleeting motivation or external validation to keep you going. You become internally driven, and that is the kind of freedom no one can take from you. You move through life with a sense of purpose, knowing that you are working towards something meaningful, and every small victory along the way reinforces your belief in yourself, builds your confidence, and strengthens your ability to keep going. Discipline also frees us from the tyranny of uncertainty. When we lack discipline, we constantly second-guess ourselves, wondering if we're doing enough or if we're on the right path. But when we commit to discipline, we create clarity. We know that as long as we stay consistent, progress will come. It may not always be quick, and it may not always be obvious, but it will come. This kind of trust in the process liberates us from the anxiety that often accompanies big dreams. We don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. We just have to trust that discipline will get us there. Ultimately, discipline is not just about what we do, it's about who we become. It's about stepping into the person who honors their commitments, who keeps promises to themselves, and who lives with a sense of integrity. That's the ultimate freedom, the freedom to create the life you truly desire, knowing that you have the strength and the discipline to make it happen. So when we say that discipline is a pathway to freedom, we're talking about a life that's not controlled by external circumstances, but one that is crafted from within. A life where you are not bound by limitations, but empowered by your ability to choose, to act, and to persist. This is the kind of freedom that lasts, the kind that transforms not just what you achieve, but who you are at your core. In the pursuit of success and personal growth, one of the greatest myths we often fall for is the idea that we need to be perfect to achieve our goals. We believe that everything has to line up perfectly, that we must have all the answers, and that every step must be flawless. But the truth is, perfection is not the goal, consistency is. Consistency over perfection is the key to progress, and it's where real transformation happens. We live in a world that celebrates highlight reels. We see the final result, the polished outcome, the moments of victory. What we don't often see are the countless hours of practice, the mistakes, the failures, and the quiet persistence that leads to those moments. And that's what consistency is. It's not about doing things perfectly every time. It's about showing up day in and day out and putting in the effort, even when it's not glamorous, even when it's hard, and even when you don't feel like it. Think about the times you've set a goal for yourself. Maybe it was to improve your health, learn a new skill, or pursue a passion project. You might have started with a burst of enthusiasm, imagining how perfect the journey would be. But what happens when things don't go according to plan? Maybe you miss a workout, stumble on a task, or face an unexpected setback. It's in those moments that many people give up because they believe they've failed. But here's the thing, one mistake, one misstep, or one bad day doesn't erase your progress. What matters most is what you do next. Do you let that setback define you, or do you choose to keep going? That's where consistency comes in. Consistency teaches us resilience. It's the practice of getting back up after every fall, of continuing forward, even when the path gets rocky. Perfection, on the other hand, sets us up for disappointment. It tells us that if we can't do something flawlessly, we shouldn't do it at all. But life doesn't work that way. Success doesn't come from doing everything right, it comes from doing the right things repeatedly. Small, consistent actions compound over time, leading to big results. When we focus on consistency, we give ourselves permission to be human. We understand that mistakes are part of the journey, not the end of it. Perfectionism often paralyzes us, making us afraid to even start because we fear we won't do it right. But consistency reminds us that it's better to take imperfect action than to take no action at all. A little progress each day adds up to big change over time. Consistency also builds confidence. Every time you stick with a routine, show up for yourself, or take another step forward, you're sending yourself a message: I can do this. Confidence doesn't come from getting everything right, it comes from proving to yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. Over time, as you continue to show up, even on the tough days, you begin to trust yourself more. That trust is powerful because it fuels your belief in what's possible, and it encourages you to keep going no matter how long the journey might take. Another beautiful aspect of consistency is that it creates momentum. At first, progress might seem slow. You may feel like your efforts are barely making a difference, but with consistency, something amazing happens. As you stick with it, you start to see small wins. Those small wins build on each other, creating a snowball effect. Suddenly, what seemed impossible becomes achievable, and what once felt difficult becomes second nature. That's the power of momentum fueled by consistency. Perfection, by contrast, often leads to burnout. When we try to do everything perfectly, we place immense pressure on ourselves. We set unrealistic expectations, and when we inevitably fall short, we feel defeated. Consistency, on the other hand, is sustainable. It allows for rest, for recovery, and for adjustment. It recognizes that life will throw challenges our way, but as long as we keep moving forward, we are still making progress. Moreover, consistency nurtures discipline. It reinforces the idea that success is not an event, it's a process. It's not about achieving something once and then moving on. It's about committing to a practice, a routine, or a way of life that aligns with your goals and values. Over time, that practice becomes a part of who you are. It shapes your habits, your mindset, and your ability to stay focused on the bigger picture. The real beauty of consistency is that it leads to mastery. When you practice something over and over, even if it's not perfect at first, you get better. The more you do it, the more you learn, and the more natural it becomes. Whether it's a skill, a routine, or a goal, consistency turns effort into expertise. Mastery doesn't come from doing something once flawlessly, it comes from doing it many times, improving with each repetition. So when we let go of the need to be perfect and instead embrace the power of consistency, we set ourselves free. We free ourselves from the burden of unrealistic expectations, from the fear of failure, and from the idea that we have to have it all figured out from the start. Consistency allows us to focus on progress rather than perfection. And in doing so, we give ourselves the grace to grow, to learn, and to become better every day. At first glance, discipline might seem like a strict set of rules that we impose on ourselves, something external that governs our behavior. But when you look closer, discipline is an internal expression of self-respect. It's about the promises we make to ourselves, and more importantly, the promises we keep. When we are disciplined, we are saying, I believe in my worth, and I'm willing to invest in myself to honor that belief. At the heart of discipline is the understanding that we are worthy of the goals we set, the dreams we pursue, and the life we desire. It's easy to dream big, to imagine a future where we are thriving, but discipline is what makes those dreams real. Without it, we risk falling short of our potential. Not because we aren't capable, but because we haven't respected ourselves enough to put in the work day after day. Discipline is the tool that bridges the gap between intention and action, between what we say we want and what we're willing to do to achieve it. When we practice discipline, we are affirming that we matter. We're showing up for ourselves in a way that says, I am worth the effort. I am worth the time. I am worth the discomfort that growth requires. Think about it. Every time you choose to stick with a difficult task, follow through on a commitment, or push past the urge to quit, you're reinforcing your self-respect. You're telling yourself that your goals are important enough to be pursued with consistency and care, even when it's hard. And in doing so, you build trust with yourself. That trust is crucial because it forms the foundation of self-respect. When you can trust yourself to follow through, you begin to feel more confident, more empowered, and more capable. Discipline is a form of self-respect because it requires sacrifice. To be disciplined, we must sometimes give up immediate pleasure or convenience in favor of long-term growth and fulfillment. Whether it's staying up a little later to finish a project, getting up early to work on your health, or saying no to distractions, discipline asks us to put aside what we want right now for what we want most. That sacrifice isn't about depriving yourself, it's about investing in yourself. It's about recognizing that you deserve the rewards that come from hard work and persistence. There's a deep sense of integrity that comes with discipline. It's easy to make promises to others, to show up for them when they need us. But how often do we do the same for ourselves? How often do we honor our own needs and aspirations with the same level of commitment? Discipline is the practice of showing ourselves that we are worthy of that same dedication. It's about being honest with ourselves about what we want, and then taking the necessary steps to get there, no matter how difficult those steps may be. When we lack discipline, we send ourselves a different message. We tell ourselves that our goals aren't as important as the distractions we give into, or that our comfort is more valuable than our growth. Over time, this erodes our self-esteem. We start to doubt our abilities, question our worth, and feel like we're not living up to our potential. This is where self-doubt creeps in, and with it, feelings of inadequacy. But when we cultivate discipline, we turn that dynamic around. We begin to respect ourselves because we see that we're capable of doing hard things, of staying committed, and of making progress even when the road is tough. Discipline also helps us create boundaries that protect our self-respect. In a world filled with distractions, obligations, and competing demands, it's easy to get pulled in many different directions. Discipline allows us to set clear boundaries, both with ourselves and with others, so that we can prioritize what truly matters. It's about saying no when we need to, and yes when it serves our higher purpose. This kind of boundary setting is essential for maintaining self-respect, because it prevents us from overextending ourselves or compromising our values for the sake of short-term gains or external validation. One of the most profound ways that discipline enhances self-respect is by fostering a sense of accomplishment. Each time we complete a task or reach a goal, we experience a sense of pride and fulfillment that boosts our self-esteem. These small wins accumulate over time, creating a powerful momentum that strengthens our belief in ourselves. This isn't about ego, it's about recognizing our own capacity to grow and succeed. Discipline allows us to witness our own progress, to see the fruits of our labor, and to feel a deep sense of satisfaction in knowing that we earned it. And perhaps most importantly, discipline teaches us resilience. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. Without discipline, it's easy to be swayed by the ups and downs of life, to give up when things get hard, or to lose focus when obstacles appear. But when we practice discipline, we learn how to push through those tough moments. We develop the strength to keep going, even when it feels like nothing is working. This resilience is a reflection of our self-respect because it shows that we value ourselves enough to keep striving even in the face of adversity. Self-respect through discipline isn't about being rigid or unyielding, it's about being committed to your own well-being, growth, and success. It's about knowing that you deserve the best from yourself, and then taking the actions necessary to make that a reality. Discipline gives you the tools to build a life that reflects your highest values and deepest desires, and in doing so, it reinforces your sense of self-worth. It's a powerful reminder that you are in control of your own destiny, and that through consistent effort, you can create the life you've always envisioned. Ultimately, discipline is an act of self-love. It's the way we show up for ourselves, even when no one else is watching. It's the commitment we make to honor our potential, to nurture our talents, and to pursue our goals with unwavering dedication. And in that process, we cultivate a deep and lasting self-respect, one that is built not on external validation, but on the knowledge that we are worthy of the life we are creating. Discipline is often most powerful when tested in the face of adversity. It's easy to stay disciplined when life is smooth, when things are going according to plan, and when the path ahead is clear. But true discipline reveals itself in moments of difficulty, when everything seems to be working against you. In these moments, discipline becomes not just a tool for progress, but a lifeline that keeps you grounded, focused, and resilient. Adversity is a part of life. There's no escaping it. Whether it comes in the form of personal setbacks, professional challenges, health crises, or unexpected loss, adversity has a way of disrupting our plans and testing our resolve. When faced with hardship, many people feel tempted to give up, to abandon their goals, or to retreat into comfort. This is where discipline makes the difference. It's the ability to keep moving forward, even when the circumstances are unfavorable. Discipline keeps you connected to your purpose, reminding you of why you started in the first place, and pushing you to continue, no matter how hard it gets. In the midst of adversity, discipline acts as an anchor. When everything around you feels chaotic and uncertain, discipline provides structure. It gives you something to hold on to, a set of habits and routines that keep you moving in the right direction. It's in these difficult moments that discipline shines brightest because it offers stability in the face of instability. By sticking to your commitments, whether it's your work, your health, or your personal goals, you create a sense of control over the things you can influence, even when much of what's happening around you is out of your hands. Adversity often brings with it feelings of doubt and fear. When we encounter unexpected challenges, it's easy to question our abilities, our worth, and our path. But discipline teaches us to trust the process. It reminds us that success is not determined by how easy or difficult the journey is, but by our ability to keep showing up. Discipline is the practice of believing in your future self, even when your current circumstances suggest otherwise. It's about having faith that if you continue to put in the work, even in the face of obstacles, you will eventually reach your destination. One of the most important roles discipline plays in adversity is in helping us manage our emotions. When we are overwhelmed by frustration, sadness, or anger, it's easy to lose sight of our goals. Emotional turbulence can cloud our judgment, leading us to make impulsive decisions or give up on things we care about. But discipline helps us navigate these emotional storms. It provides a framework for us to follow, even when we're not feeling motivated or inspired. Discipline allows us to push through those moments of emotional discomfort, knowing that our long-term success depends on our ability to stay consistent, regardless of how we feel in the moment. Adversity also brings with it the temptation to take shortcuts or look for quick fixes. When faced with a difficult situation, it's natural to want to escape the discomfort as quickly as possible. But discipline teaches us that the easy way out is rarely the most rewarding. It reminds us that real growth and success come from enduring the challenges, not avoiding them. Discipline helps us stay committed to the right path, even when shortcuts seem tempting. It reinforces the idea that lasting progress is built through steady, consistent effort, not by taking the path of least resistance. In moments of adversity, discipline also nurtures resilience. Resilience is not something we are born with, it's something we develop through repeated experiences of facing and overcoming challenges. Each time we encounter adversity and choose to stick with our discipline, we build resilience. We strengthen our capacity to endure, to bounce back, and to keep going. Discipline teaches us that setbacks are not failures, they are simply part of the process. And by continuing to show up despite the difficulties, we learn that we are stronger and more capable than we ever realized. Adversity often forces us to confront our limitations, but discipline shows us that we can push beyond them. When the road gets tough, it's discipline that gives us the strength to push a little harder, to dig a little deeper, and to find new reserves of energy and determination. It's in these moments that we discover what we are truly made of. Discipline stretches our capacity, allowing us to grow in ways we wouldn't have imagined if things had always been easy. Through discipline, we learn that adversity isn't something to be feared, it's something to be embraced as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Furthermore, discipline in the face of adversity teaches us patience. When life throws obstacles in our way, it can feel like our progress has come to a standstill. It's tempting to want immediate results, to feel frustrated when things don't happen as quickly as we'd like. But discipline reminds us that progress is not always visible in the short term. It teaches us to trust the process, to keep doing the work, even when the results aren't immediately apparent. Discipline cultivates a long-term mindset, helping us stay focused on the bigger picture, rather than getting discouraged by temporary setbacks. Discipline also helps us maintain perspective during adversity. When we're in the midst of a challenge, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, as if the difficulties we're facing are insurmountable. But discipline keeps us grounded in reality. It reminds us that we've faced hard times before and we've made it through. It gives us the confidence to know that we can handle whatever comes our way because we have a track record of persistence and determination. By staying disciplined, we gain the clarity to see adversity for what it is, a temporary challenge, not a permanent obstacle. Finally, discipline in the face of adversity helps us redefine success. Success isn't just about reaching the finish line, it's about the journey, the growth, and the character we build along the way. When we face challenges with discipline, we develop qualities like grit, patience, and inner strength. These are the qualities that will serve us long after the adversity has passed. They are the foundation of true success because they enable us to keep moving forward no matter what life throws our way. In the end, discipline is what transforms adversity from something that breaks us into something that makes us stronger. It's the quiet force that keeps us steady when everything else feels uncertain. Discipline doesn't eliminate adversity, but it gives us the tools to navigate it with grace, strength, and determination. It allows us to rise above the challenges, not by avoiding them, but by facing them head on with the knowledge that we have the power to endure and thrive.